and welcome to Ryan Talks About Stuff Time. That's right, it's another Spinous special. Today I thought I'd talk about just general stuff announced from the Nintendo Direct and what games I've been playing in the past week. So, Nintendo Direct-wise, they didn't announce too much. They announced one thing in particular that I am far more excited than anyone should be for, and I'll get to that, but I'm going to say that for the last thing that I'm going to talk about out of the Nintendo Direct stuff, because I want that to be a major topic of discussion. So basically from the Direct, they talked about, there's a new Kirby game where you have a mech that can also use copy abilities. That's pretty cool. There's, updates to Splatoon and Mario Maker, Star Fox Zero. Star Fox Zero looks pretty good. It's basically, at this point, like a modern-day Star Fox 64. It has multiple pathways, more stuff, and it looks good, They've also talked about Metroid Prime Federation Force. Look, now that they've shown us some more stuff, it definitely looks better. It looks like it will be a good game. It won't be as terrible as people let on. But I just think it's the thing that people have wanted a Metroid game, and that's just not what they want. That's the thing when it comes to everything, though. Like, the Sonic fan base, all they want is a game that is just Sonic Adventure 3, basically. Just something that's, you just take Sonic, you play as him, maybe play some different characters, but that's what people want. And do I agree with that? Yeah, I do. But I also like all the other stuff that they make. The only thing is that when it comes to Metroid Prime Federation Force, it's one of those games that I'm not really going to play because I don't really have a bunch of friends that are like, oh hey, let's play this 3DS game. That's just not really how I do, so it's just not really for me, I guess, and it's really just the art style, too. Like, that's part of the reason people are so against it, is that, it's this really colorful and bright. I think it's made by the same people, or some part of it is done by people that did Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and yeah, I believe it's made by them. But the thing is in that game, the kind of wacky coloriness really worked. But when it comes to Federation Force, I don't really think people want this colorful, wacky Metroid game. Especially Metroid Prime, because it's just to be expected. When you put out a spin-off that has Metroid Prime in the name, because Metroid Prime is one of the most beloved trilogies out there. And that actually ties in with what I've been doing, is I actually recently purchased the ever-elusive Metroid Prime trilogy for Wii, and it's really good. I think they're solid games, and I really can see what people like about them. So it kind of hits home even more with Federation Force that it's just not what people want. And Nintendo notably sees that and knows. They basically pointed out, look, we know, because they especially explained it in the Direct. So they know that people are less than happy about it. Now, there's a lot more people that say they are happy about it. But still, they released the trailer for Metroid Prime Federation Force yesterday, and Nintendo took off likes and dislikes. They disabled that feature. Doesn't really show confidence when it comes to stuff. And even when the game comes out, there's still going to be people, no matter anything, there's still going to be people that dislike it. That's the problem. I think that people are already intent on disliking it, and that's not a good thing. I think it will be a fine game. It's just not what people want, and not what people want out of Metroid Prime as a whole. So, when it comes to Metroid, I think it's too because Metroid is just it's a sore subject for people. Because people love Metroid. They've wanted a Metroid game. This is not the Metroid game that they wanted. You know what I mean? People have been waiting for another Metroid game after Other M, where a lot of people didn't like Other M. And they want to find something that they will like. You know, they want to find... They're like, okay, well, I want my faith in this franchise to be filled. I want it to be revitalized. But Federation Force doesn't look like it's going to do that. It looks really colorful, really kind of goofy. And people have this weird attachment to Samus where she has to be the center of everything. Every Metroid game. They make one Metroid game where she's not the center of everything. And everyone's like, no, she has to be the center of everything. I don't get it. But either way, Metroid Prime Federation Force. Here I am talking about it again. But I don't think it'll be bad as people think, and we'll just have to wait until it comes out to find out for sure. And then, of course, there's other things they announced, like Disney Art Academy, you know, the Art Academy series, the Pokemon Art Academy, now Disney Art Academy. Now, this only excites me because the prospect of a Game Grumps series on Disney Art Academy really excites me. I would love to see that because if you have not seen the Game Grumps series for Pokemon Art Academy, basically, it is Ross and Barry. If you don't know them, they are two parts of Game Grumps. And although Ross is an animator and currently is doing a lot more animating and is working on an actual physical show and pilot for his show that he wants to do. So he's in kind of fewer episodes, but there's this whole funny thing. This is not, we just transitioned into Game Grumps rant time. Basically, they've been recording these episodes of Pokemon Art Academy because it's just like Ross and Barry just kind of chill out, just tell stories, and have a good time while they draw these ridiculously good-looking, like, horrible renditions of Pokemon. They purposefully make them, like, really wacky and zany and weird, and, like, it's just cool to see Ross use each of the new utensils that is given to him every time they give him the option to. And I believe that they said that there was, like, last we heard about the series, they are trying to record every episode of it so that they can release them, like, in a row. But the funny thing about that is that Ross said on social media that there's one episode that is, like, 3 hours long of him drawing Pokemon, and they still have a couple more missions to go. Once they finish all the missions, then we'll get them, and then we'll be in this, like, heaven state where it's, like, an hour-long episode every day, and it's just gonna, like, oh my goodness. Thinking about it, it's amazing, but really, I do love Game Grumps. I love the direction that it's taking as of recently. I do love the shift away from Steam Train into Grumpcade. There's been a lot more of that. There's been a lot more of Barry and Brian. Their combination is great, too. It just shows all the combinations that can be on the channel and why it works so good. And I love that idea of the channel that has, like, all these different combinations that it can come from. And it's just funny that all came from Aaron and John. Aaron and John did one thing. You know, they did one show that had 2 episodes a day. And then, you know, then John leaves, but then we get introduced to Ross and Dan, and then we get introduced to Barry as a full cast member and not just a guy who edits the videos. You know, then we get Susie, then we get Brian, and like there's just this never-ending expansion of people that are on the channel frequently, and it's great. I love it. There's more guests than ever. This has just became like why I think Game Grumps is in a good place. But I think they're in a good place because they've just done so, like, they found a series that really works for them. That's Mario Maker, which everyone kind of wonders how much longer that'll go on for. But the thing is that Mario Maker, as a series of Game Grumps, gets the most views of anything that they do. So even though there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Mario Maker, I'd like to see less Mario Maker, people are still watching the Mario Maker series. Like, they will only stop when views drop from the Mario Maker series, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't predict that happening anytime soon, because it's kind of a goldmine for them. You know, they can talk about whatever, they can flip out if a level's really hard, and like the last couple episodes have just been them going around and playing whatever level it is that they want to play and beating it, and, you know, just going through like, oh, this level looks like fun. And it's just funny, there's like, they can organize getting levels. There's millions of levels for them to play. So it literally, like, they can just keep playing them all the time. And it's beautiful. As far as Game Grumps series go, that series, Mario Maker, is really strong contender for one of the longest going ones. I mean, pretty soon, you know, in like a month or so, I bet you, I'm willing to bet that Mario Maker will pass 100 episodes, which is a thing that only few series have done. And I think the longest series is like maybe 115, I'm not sure. But the thing is that Mario Maker can't end, and it'll only end if they get absolutely sick of the game, which, you know, they could at any point. But the thing is that when it comes to Game Grumps, when it comes to Game Grumps, I think that's what it should be called. That might be what this episode is called, when it comes to Game Grumps. And if it's not actually what the video is physically called up there, or wherever the title of the video is, I don't even remember anymore these days. But if that's not what the video is called, just imagine that it is when it comes to Game Grumps. But they have so much, like, they have so many games. They've been really finding ways to make it work. And I'm very happy with the direction that their channel has taken. I'm very happy that, I'm just very happy altogether about everything that's been going on for them, really. And they're doing a Portal 2 playthrough. They're almost done with that. They've been doing the co-op mode on that. Almost done. And then when they're done with that, who knows what'll come back. There's a lot of people that always are like, oh, Pokemon Fire Red, come back. But it's like they are really busy people. So it's going to come back eventually. But every time a series ends, people are like, oh, I thought Fire Red was going to come back. And it never does, because it's just hard to do. You know, it's like, they're people too, they have lives. So, when it comes back, I'll be excited. But until then, I'm good with the content that they're putting out on a daily basis now. So, that's pretty much my Game Grumps rant. I didn't expect to go off that long on Game Grumps, and now I don't really remember what else I have to say. But really, it's been a good week for me. I've got to relax, unwind, and I got, like I said, Metroid Prime Trilogy, and I found, used for $10, Endless Ocean, Blue World. It's really fun. It's a fun game. They played it on Game Grumps yet again. I highly recommend Game Grumps, and I think it's a great channel. And yeah, I watch it every day. I've gotten a lot of my friends into watching it. Yeah, but they played Endless Ocean Blue World, which is the second Endless Ocean game, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll get it and play it, because it looked pretty fun on there. When you play it yourself, it is like, you can't even get how actually fun it is from watching them play it. But when you play it yourself, you're like, whoa. So, overall, I've just been playing some games and chilling. 1.9, Minecraft 1.9 came out. Oh, it's good. It's more just like there's just kind of little improvements, you know. The improvements that they've added, you know, is that when it comes to combat, it's much better. There's no more click, 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 click fighting. Fighting is now, there's so many options. Like, you could have your offhand be your, your normal hand be a sword, and your offhand be a potion. You could have your arrows, your special arrows on your offhand, and switch over to your bow. There's so many options for what you can do with that. You can have your shield in your offhand. There's so many options now. So it's really cool that way. And I hope they continue to add cool stuff. I hope it doesn't take as long for the next update. And really, they don't have to update it forever. They could just say, like, okay, you know what, this is it. And then people would still play it and still be happy, I think. But it's good that they want to keep updating it and keep making it a better game. So, really, this episode, all we've talked about is video games, Game Grumps. That's about it. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to tell you something. If you'd like to see me do, like, any review stuff, like, watch any show, like a show that's on Netflix or something, just let me know in the comments. Just anything that you'd like me to do, and I will take it into consideration, because I've really made my main focus so far this year on the Spinous special episodes. Doing those, getting those out, and it's been fun. But I really think that if there's anything more you want me to do, I'm trying to work up into doing more too. But this is the main focus. This is me saying goofy stuff, and it's good. So, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you keep enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed this particularly fantastic episode. And, yeah. So, there's actually like a whole outside out there that you can't actually see because of the glare. But, yay light. Oh, can you almost see it, maybe, kind of? Nope. No, you can't. Wait, what if I, you might only be able to see the sky, actually. Hold on. Professionalism, here we go. Alright, are you ready? The outside. Alright, well, that's it. See you next time. Bye-bye.